what I'm loving about Chawinga this year is that she's not just looking for the net immediately.
This is another moment where I was going to mention that she's not looking to just take on 5 players and take a shot. She's looking to see if she has an opportunity, and if she doesn't, she's finding the next player, who could, continue that attack. And that's something that she's growing on, and that's going to make our team better.
What is happening, KC Current fans? Welcome back to another episode of Currently on No Other Pod, part of KC Sports Network. Daniel Kooser, Chris Wright, victory pod again. We don't ever want to talk about a non-victory because oh my God, dude. It's feeling good. Chris, talk to me, man. What's going on? Is your hair not dyed teal? All right, get on Chawinga's level. What's going on?
I'm not that cool, man. I'm not that cool, but what a great weekend, right? We beat, the second best team in the league, the runner-up of the championship last night. We bought TNA tickets for Friday, so we pretty pumped up for that. You're rocking a stash, man. Entertaining weekend.
Yeah, change it up. I had a whole little beard thing going on. It was getting kind of prickly. I'm a little post-surgery beard, man. I felt lazy recently, so
it looks great.
Jesus Christ, it's all right. Hey, come.
I like to appreciate a stash. I can't get one, so I like to appreciate a good mustache.
Ain't much, dude. And Nick, our producer, really knows how to get it going. Mine's very relaxed. Mine's very like 80s basketball player. Nick's is like, hey, I'm a dad.
Nick's is like he should be competing in mustaches somehow. However that works, he should be competing.
You got to put some oils in it too. You got to get it smelling like rich wood and mahogany. And then they got the balm. You got to get that balm going for the style,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll never experience that, but
no, this is crazy. Dude, this was what a great weekend. What a great, I wouldn't say great soccer weekend because I did attend the Sporting Kansas City game. That's never great. If you're a Sporting Kansas City fan, never great. But if you're a KC Current fan, shit just keeps being great. It just is, man. Death taxes, KC Current. And now what sums it up, which I'm most excited about because this was announced today, kind of like breaking news as we're getting ready to record. 3 of our ladies were called up to the U.S. women's national team. 3 of them. And one of them's a surprise for me. I kind of thought Claire Hutton and Michelle Cooper would get called up because they were in that futures camp a month or so ago. But I certainly didn't have Alana Cook on my bingo card as it was getting called up, and I'm very excited for all 3 of them. How about you?
I feel like a proud parent, like a proud dad. Just seeing, these players, 2 of them, right, that grew up within Kansas City in terms of their professional career. And, they're blossoming right before our eyes, man. It's a lot of fun. And Cook is a little bit of a surprise, but kind of not really. So she was on the national team, under Vlatko previously.
That's right.
So in her play, I think has been fantastic. And it certainly caught the eyes of Emma Hayes and the national team. So I'm glad she's getting an opportunity. 24 players were picked for friendlies against Brazil.
Couple friendlies. I believe it's April 5th. And April 8th. April 5th, I believe, is at like 4 o'clock, and the 8th is like 9:30. I'm like, are you going to hit us with a 9:30 on a Tuesday night and a 4 o'clock on a Saturday? I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll get butts and seats, but I'll tell you one thing that doesn't is the U.S. men's national team did not get butts and seats at their friendlies, my man. That was unfortunate stuff there.
That was bad. I mean, both of these games are in California,
Right.
In LA for one and San Jose for the other, SoFi Stadium and PayPal Park. You're the only person I know who talks about the schedule and immediately mentions the time and how late it is. Like,
well, buddy, I like a good 9 o'clock bedtime. I like a good 9 o'clock bedtime, 6 a.m. wake up. It's and my sleep lately has been very bad trying to get off these meds and get over this post-surgery shit. Dude, I'm not good. I'm not okay.
So do you see that late start and you're like, oh shit, I don't know if I can do that one.
Oh, I'm screwed. I'm absolutely screwed. Either I'm going to try to get a nap or something, but I'm in trouble, bro. I'm waking up with like nerve pain and shit, and just I'll be waking up at 4 a.m. being like, it's got to be close to my alarm, and it's nowhere close to my alarm. Just having a real bad time with it. So,
My goodness.
sleep's important. If that's the worst I got going on, that's fine. I'm walking without the walker. Came upstairs today. I'm back in the studio, back here in the Kooser lab, as it were, with my sneaks back there. Things feel good, man. Feels like all is right as rain, you know?
Happy to have you back, fully in the studio.
It feels good. So yeah, the USA news, that's awesome for that trio of ladies. I do want to I want to observe Chawinga continuing to score and extend her gosh dang it, I had this number. Did you have this number written somewhere that she extended her streak of scoring in games?
Ooh, I do not.
Dating back to last season?
Not surprising.
Okay.
I don't have that right.
Gotcha. It's there somewhere. But Chawinga, I didn't think she was going to get it this past game. And we're going to break down everything in it. I have some thoughts going to Washington against a very good Washington Spirit team. But I do want to say we're back home this weekend, man. And that's very exciting. Are you going to make it out to the game this Saturday?
Absolutely. Beautiful day, right? I think it's 6 or 7. It's supposed to be like 70 degrees.
Hey, if I'm not talking about bedtimes, I'm talking about weather. Because that's what you do when you get older. Get with it, you youngins. Teal Man, you see him out at Comic-Con? Did you go to Comic-Con?
I did not go. I think I'm going to the one in San Diego. So it's kind of like, which one? I'm sorry?
When is that?
July 23rd to the 26th, I think.
Man, is that pretty expensive? Like I've never gone.
It is. It's
okay.
It's quite expensive.
Like I mean, like significantly. Like you can't get tickets, right? You have to like be on a waiting list.
Yeah. So so essentially they go and sell 2 different time frames. The first one is if you went the previous year, you're in a queue and they pull you in from the queue, and yeah, it's one of those kind of like Ticketmaster where you're in some random part of the line, and if you went the prior year, then your odds are better. If you go during what's called open registration, where everybody does it, even if you didn't attend last year, then the odds are significantly lower. It goes from 50% if you're returning to 8% if you're just general public. And the ticket prices are actually affordable. It's everything around it. It's hotels, it's food, it's airfare. If
Gotcha.
Since I live in Kansas,
but, meet and greets.
I usually don't spend a whole lot of money on those, but
no.
The vibe and atmosphere is just so much fun.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, we're going to a little wrestling event tonight, man. We might or on Friday, we might just have to do a little meet and greet afterwards. I don't know. They do that. I've heard this.
Hit the ropes, take some bumps.
Well, I'm not going to take bumps. Not even going to run the ropes, bro. I'll have my walker with me probably. So see if we can get that sympathy, see if we can get, hey there,
Ethan. Yeah.
Hey there, injured man. Would you like a backstage tour? Hey, let's take our break real fast. When we get back, let's jump into this game. So stay right there.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner impossible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And we're back, folks. Hey, Chris, where did you watch this game at? You just watch at home?
Watch it at home.
Pluto TV?
I think it was, I watched it on Roku, I think. Because they have Ion for free. Yeah.
Ion's on there. Cool, yeah. Cool. First thoughts about this game. I'm going to jump right in because I noticed that the lady commentator, I do not know her name, but she seemed very much biased, and commentators are supposed to be unbiased. And it felt weird that the whole time she was kind of rooting for the Spirit to get a goal, like actively rooting for them to tie it up because we had a PK and she just couldn't bear to see KC win that way. And I'm like, are the announcers against us now? Because this felt weird. And I'm not sure if you were getting those vibes, so I do want your take on that as well. But she also made a comment at one time when Lorena's amazing save happened. She said, what's the rules if it hits off the post like that? And her male counterpart was like, well, it has to completely cross over the goal line. And this lady kept saying like she played with Dabinia in North Carolina as like it was some kind of like flex or something, you know? And I was like, what's going on? You're rooting for Washington.
Yeah, I think it was Merritt Mathias. Let me double check that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's possible. That's 100% possible. She did play in North Carolina, so that would make a lot of sense. And ended her career with Angel City last year, right?
Yeah.
I kept throwing me through a loop. I was like, you know the rules. You played soccer. You just keep saying you played soccer.
It's kind of weird. Yeah. I didn't.
Because I went back and watched this whole game, even though I was at Sporting and I had it on my phone. I did go back and watch the whole thing on Sunday so I could have a greater understanding, you know?
Yeah, I didn't catch the overarching vibe of the bias, but there was a couple of those moments where I was just like, that not the best broadcasting, or somebody should know that. And maybe she was setting up her broadcast partner to, you know, have like an educational moment. I don't know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
she should 100% know that. It's not a goal until the ball goes completely over the line.
There was like VAR and she was like, oh, I hope that's a penalty or whatever. And it's like, you're not supposed to hope that that's anything. Like, you're supposed to be on the sideline doing analysis, you know? Like, you're not a fan here.
Well, anybody who's ever...
That's when we could do this. We could be up there doing this if that's the case.
Everybody who's ever, like, broadcaster who has attended as media, you know, you have to kind of be in that professional, unbiased kind of format, mindset, right?
It's tough. I'm sure it's tough for Nate Bukaty to, like, do Sporting KC games because he's a huge KC fan. You know what I mean? But he does a great job of staying unbiased, you know?
Yeah. And it's just being professional. I mean, I'm not saying she isn't, but there's a couple comments. I was like, that's kind of a little odd.
A little odd, but that's okay. You know, we just keep winning, and even the commentators hate it. It's whatever. Hate us because you ain't us. It's fine.
Especially with all the controversy in the second half, which we'll talk about. But and there's quite a bit of it.
This game was far too long because of all the controversy. Because of all, I'm sure the Spirit fans think that the refs handed us the game or something like that, and it's like, honestly, I thought the ref did a pretty decent job calling this thing, don't you think?
All things considered, like given everything that happened in the second half, I thought the ref did a good job. And there are some calls that love it or hate it. You know, I thought it was fair, right? And that's all you can ask for. Whether you're on the losing end, as long as it's fair, I can't complain.
Agreed, man. Anything crazy about these lineups right off the start, other than Rodman not being in the lineup because she's not 100% match fit, right?
Not really surprised because the last time she played, she came in the 67th, so I thought she'd come in about half. Croy Bethune is back, but you know she was not going to play. I wasn't for sure if she might get a couple minutes, but you know it's week 2, right? No need to wheel anybody out after a major injury. Elizabeth.
We had one significant change. It was just on the back line. Yeah, taking Elizabeth Ball out for Izzy Rodriguez, which Ball's not an outside defender, so it makes sense. I thought she did a fair job against Portland at that position.
Yeah, and I think she had like a training nick or something. She was questionable, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think she traveled. At least she wasn't a sub.
Yeah, so no, I mean, there's no reason to have all the high quality depth we have and to make players play, right? We have the depth, we have the quality. Let's use it.
Very much so, dude. Izzy is more than capable. I mean, she's been a stalwart at that spot all the time. And I don't put Ellie Wheeler on either side. Like, she's going to overlap and go play another winger up there anyway. So,
crazy that though, that you can, throw her, to switch her sides at will. I mean, that's pretty remarkable.
Oh, yeah. Dude, we were getting in pretty great positions to start this game. 14th minute, Michelle Cooper it's just her and the keeper, and it got tipped over got deflected over the goal for a corner kick.
What a ball by Lowe though. Like,
oh yeah,
to settle that and to get your foot, like, I mean, that was beautiful on both ends and a very difficult ball to finish in good keeping. That was beautiful all the way around.
Our players have been like putting these balls on their foot. Like it's perfect. Dabinha's making excellent long balls. Lowe's doing the same thing and catching people in stride. If they keep this up, dude, it's going to be a very exciting season again. Because in the 20th minute, man, this was heartbreaking. Dabinha hits the crossbar. It goes dong ground. Like, it didn't hit the crossbar and bounce off. It went to the ground, which is just devastating. At one point, the announcer said that Casey Curran had like 5 shots and could be up 5-0. Like, it was that close,
Yeah. I mean, what a way for her to get the ball and turn on it too.
Oh,
it really shows their quality.
First debut of the teal jerseys. Do you like them? Like what you see out there?
Yeah, I thought they were better than I expected.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed them.
All teal everything, man. It's nice. It kind of blends in with like the pitch at times, so that's kind of weird, but that's all right. Freaking Chawinga again, man, is in on goal in the 22nd minute. Gets kind of stuffed by the goalkeeper, but our attack is just nonstop.
Did you see that? Oh gosh, I think it was Cooper who had that cross, and then Chawinga tried to outside the foot. It was in the first half, probably like the first 25 minutes. She tried to like outside the foot, just kind of poke it, and it just went right over. I mean, that thing was 2 feet with nobody in front of you. I mean, thankfully it didn't cost us a game, right? But that's one of those where she, last year she had quite a few of those where you take a look at her Golden Boot lead in victory last year, could have been even higher if she were to finish some of those chances. What a great ball by Cooper as well.
Oh, very true. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because that happened after Lorena made what I think is like save of the year here, man. Like, it hits the post, which what even are the rules if it hits the post? I don't know.
Is that a goal? I don't know.
It's not, because if you see it, dude, she like pins the ball against the post. It stays out of the goal area. And I think she kind of tweaked her wrist in this, which I'm like, oh, great. Like, goalkeepers can get by, like tweaking an ankle or a quad or having a little knock in their thigh or something.
Yeah.
Field players really can't. They need it. They got to run. They got to sprint. Goalkeepers don't have to do a ton of that all the time. But so the wrist, though, I'm like, oh no, she's like holding her hand. This is bad. She needs that. But overall, it turned out to be fine.
Kind of to that point, I was very concerned, right? Like, she came in, she's had a phenomenal start. She's, really kind of settling in that position. But a part of me was like, well, if she is out, we got Ivory. Like, it just made me recognize and realize how good our depth truly is. So while it was like, Lord, please be okay, please don't be hurt, it was also like, kind of next player up, I think we'll be okay. We'll be fine. It's
insane. I've already seen this almost goal dozens of times, and I just keep watching it on repeat. It's insane because she's not ready to go that way. And this happened a couple times, a couple deflections where she's tracking the ball and it takes a deflection and she's got to change directions right away. That's difficult, man. And that's how, deflections win games sometimes. And so kudos to her for, she's just long too, dude. She's got range. She's been on a poster like Jordan back in the day, showing that wingspan, she's a perfect build for a keeper. And not only a perfect build in terms of like height, arm length, but she's athletic, she's young, and she has a very, very quick reaction time. And you package all that together, and she's able to make plays like this where most keepers cannot make that play. Yeah. 100%.
So it's, yeah.
But going back to what you said about Chawinga hitting that with the outside of her foot, man, I bet she'd like that shot back, because I think she gets her goal sooner if she like kind of opens up her body and hits it with the inside of her right foot, or even tries to go left foot inside with it. But she's right-footed, so she, did what she thought she could do right there, and trying to tap it in with the outside of the foot. Who is she, Chris Wright? That's crazy.
I mean, I've been in that situation. I've done both. I've buried it and I've put it over the bar. But any other part of her body other than maybe like the top of her toe, or that's a goal, man. And I think that sucks because at that time in the game, I felt like we're knocking on the door. And then with that miss, I'm like, oh Lord, this could really come back to haunt us later, because you don't get many chances like that.
No, you're right. It slowed things down, man. From everything from like our attack to like our clearances in the box weren't crazy good. We had a little bit of a dry spell, a little focus moment for the next half hour or so. I didn't know what to see in this. I just kept thinking, okay, like we said last week, man, a draw at Washington is great. Like, let's hope that's what happens. You know what I mean? But it wasn't without trying, man. Chawinga, what I'm loving about Chawinga this year is that she's not just looking for the net immediately.
This is another moment where I was going to mention that she's not looking to just take on 5 players and take a shot. She's looking to see if she has an opportunity, and if she doesn't, she's finding the next player, who could, continue that attack. And that's something that she's growing on. And that's going to make our team better.
No doubt, dude. I mean, and Dabinia is always there with her too. Like, she's going to be there for a pass. And that combination of players up there with Michelle Cooper lurking as well, dude, our attacking trio is scary.
The creativity, in my opinion, like the creativity with Cooper, Chawinga, Dabinia, and Lowe, and then also Deep and Arna, if you want to throw her in there as well, is incredible. Like, both of those players, Lowe and Dabinia, have provided amazing opportunities, created quite a few really good chances for the other attacking players. And not only do they continue from last year, but I think Dabinia's playing better. I think Dabinia's, and I don't, if you look back and you're like, how can it be possible that she's playing better? I don't know, but she is. Before we were always kind of hoping for, an individual moment of Dabinia magic or something like that, right? Just make a miracle happen. Now she's providing all of that in the context of the team.
Yeah.
And our attack looks so much smoother because of that.
She's doing the thing perfectly where if Chawinga has the ball somewhere, she's running across the field to be in a good opportunity to get the ball from Chawinga. She's not waiting right there for a small little pass or anything. Like, she's going to go get open in a scoring position. And dude, Kingsbury, goalkeeper for the Spirit, had a great game. I mean, she has a ton of shutouts in her career. She had to have a couple quick reaction saves too, some deflection type stuff. A header right on goal. She had to kind of parry off to the side. Kingsbury, wasn't she the one that kind of, didn't she have one hell of a penalty kick shootout last year in the playoffs where she blocked a lot of them?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Gotham, the playoff against Gotham, I think she shut Gotham down in the semifinal. Yeah, I mean, the only kind of, she had an amazing game, 1,000%. And the only knock you can have on her was her inability to hold on to the ball at the end, which we'll talk about. But, we were peppering her all game long in quality chances as well. Our XG was a 3 this game, and then they had a 1.2. So we had a lot of quality chances, and she did a good job to keep us out of the net.
I mean, yeah, if ours was a 3 and theirs was 1, like, they didn't even have a single goal, man. So it's great here. But our first little bit of controversy came in the 53rd minute. VAR took a long time because they were trying to see if there's a little handball here off of Chawinga's head onto a defender's arm, which deflected it towards goal. And sure was, even though the player thought no handball here at all, but 100% was. That hand was away from the body and redirected the ball, right?
Yeah. Chawinga to get up there and even get a chance on that, just always fighting for everything. Yeah. Man, it's a clear handball. It sucks. I get it. We've been on that side of things. Sharples had one last week. It was just an unfortunate situation, right? That's not, you can't knock a player for going up and like expecting them to keep their arms to the side. That's not how bodies work. But it's just unfortunate for them, fortunate for us. And we got one of the best PK takers, I think, in the league.
Lowe stepped up and got it done, dude. what was interesting to me there, though, is Kingsbury kind of like, she went the wrong direction, but she was ready to field a low kick, which it was, no pun intended, a low kick, but it was low. She didn't go high with it. It stayed low. She just went the wrong direction. But cue Trinity Rodman. Okay, we're down a goal. Dun, dun, dun. Let's bring in our pink-haired hope. Like that. I got to tell you, if there's any question who Trinity Rodman is on the field, though, that'll do it. You know, if your parents can't find you out there, sometimes you just dye your hair. Chawinga knows. She's rocking the broccoli cut, dude. It's looking awesome.
I would say put a pink headband, but that'll
everyone's doing
won't do it anymore. Yeah,
everyone's doing it. But Trinity Rodman comes in and scores a goal. This made me livid. I was like, she did not just come in.
Like her first or second touch. It was like literally her first run down the field.
That's some Messi type shit, dude. That's some Leo Messi type shit. You step on the field and you create magic. Trinity Rodman is a special player. Spoiler alert, this goal did not count. But it should have. Like, it was onside. They did not call this back for being offsides. It got VAR'd. It got looked at heavily. And it was deemed that the player who headed the ball to Trinity Rodman had pushed our girl, Claire Hutton, to the ground. Gave her the old push. It looked pretty eerily similar as to what I did to you on a free kick one time.
Very much so.
Neither here nor there.
But yeah,
this was called off. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I think there's a lot to unpack there. The flag went up for offsides when Trinity scored, so that's why they went to review it. Turns out Chawinga kept Trinity on, but McEwen pushed Claire Hutton, and I don't know how hard she pushed her. It didn't look like it was overly strong.
It was extended,
but when you extend your arms,
yeah.
When you have two hands out, that's what the ref sees. That's what VAR sees, and Hutton went down and. I'm not saying it was harsh. I mean, it was a foul, but if I'm a Spirit fan or if I'm a Spirit player, it feels like, what do I got to do? Kind of, because up to then, both teams had chances and it felt pretty even, generally speaking, in terms of, the state of play. But, you can't do that. You can't extend your arms. You can't push a player. And I will say this, though, Hutton, I don't know if she sold it on purpose, but there's a couple times in the box she kind of gets bullied. I know she's younger, right? So
yeah, I mean, it's naturally she's less strong than someone who's been here longer,
Right. So I kind of hope to see her develop in that sense, but in this case, it definitely benefited us. And if I'm a Spirit fan, I'm pissed. If I'm at that game, I'm
sure. And I was worried. I was like, oh man, this ain't enough. I feel like we're going to give up a goal somewhere along here. Trinity Rodman's just all over the field, trying to prove hey, I shouldn't be on the bench. I need to be out here. But you get to 90 minutes and you're like, oh boy, how long is stoppage time going to be? Buddy, they didn't announce stoppage time till 4 minutes into stoppage time. It's like they were still calculating or some shit until they finally said it's a plus 11. And come to the 98th minute, man, we get a ball, long ball coming in. Chawinga gets on it. I'm like, she ain't going to get this, dude. She kind of chests it and heads it or whatever. Kingsbury gets it, smothers it, can't gather it. Chawinga doesn't touch the keeper. No foul on her, doesn't kick her, doesn't step on her. The ball bounces right into her path because she keeps running, and she slots it away for a goal. 2-0, KC current win.
No, incredible.
This goal is amazing. Kingsbury can't fumble that like that. That's insane. She's too good.
No, I agree. And that just speaks on Chawinga's effort and play, right? Her hustle constantly. You can't make a mistake around her or she'll make you pay. But that made me feel obviously significantly better. That just, you felt like the air came out of the stadium. The players just kind of, at that point, they're not having success prior to that. And then it just took out of everybody.
At the end of the day, we stole 3 points from the team who was the runner-up in the championship last year, and it feels pretty good. We got a game coming home this weekend. Stick right there. We're going to talk all about it when we come back. Hang on.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Couple things to mention before we move on to previewing this weekend. Couple subs that came in, man. Michelle Prince came in the 69th minute for Cooper. Looked to be some good attacking power, some fresh legs out there, man. We know she's quick. Rocky Rodriguez came in. Love to see a veteran like her continue to get on the field. Haley Mace back from injury, 69th minute as well.
Season debut
And an assist to Chawinga, just like that, dropping it on a dime.
And she guarded Rodman for a lot of that half too, because they swapped Wheeler to the other side and then brought Mace on the right, who was tasked with basically trying to shut down Trinity. And it was interesting that Mace basically came in once Trinity did as well. So that looked like that was a game plan from Vlodko from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, man. And Haley Mace is a little, no disrespect to Ellie Wheeler, but Haley's pretty physical in her play.
She's a veteran too. She's crafty.
She'll bump and grind with you. I mean, she'll hurt you out there. So make you regret going up against her for sure. She's an enforcer. And it cannot go without being noticed that Martelacho came in the 81st minute for DiBernardo, man, who actually got a couple touches in and around the box. Cool to see what she's capable of.
Yeah, and she was the first player of her country to play in the NWSL as well. So,
dude, this was also Vlodko's 200th game that he's coached in all NWSL competitions. He's the fourth coach to reach that milestone.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That's wild.
So great win, man. Moving on, we got a game this weekend. Utah coming to town. Did you know, by the way, we do this on the sporting side, by the way, and Chip sends in these little stat things, our buddy Chip, and he sent some stuff for KC Current, and I'd like to read it to you if that's okay.
Please do. Yeah, let's hear it.
So he always gets us with the numbers. If you listen to the sporting side, you're familiar with it. It's some numbers we're not usually familiar with, and it's some insight into whatnot. And sporting's very sad, so it's a little more happy when he hits us with the KC Current numbers. So I'm going to tell you about it. Here I go. Chip says, in another great performance by the Current, we showed we could do it on the road as well. KC really threw everything they had at Washington with a total of 15 shots during the game, 5 of which were on target. The thing that stands out to me is the variety of players taking shots. In the last match against Portland, we saw 9 different players take shots, including several from defense. In this match, we had 15 shots from 7 different players, 2 of which were defenders. One thing that KC does well is diversify their attack, so it's not all coming from one person, even though we did get the golden boot last year. But remember, even though Chawinga got the golden boot, KC Current had more players score last year than not score, including goalkeepers. Vlodko pushes everyone to attack, but does it in a way that poses a threat to the defense. Our attack hit them with everything in our arsenal like an octopus playing the drums. Jesus. Aside from the offense, Lorena also had a clean sheet, going 3 for 3 on saves and denying the Spirit any goals despite their 1.2 XG for the game. Not enough can be said for a goalkeeper who has the acrobatic performance that Lorena had. Not to say any disrespect to Aubrey Kingsbury, as she had quite the game as well with an 83% save stat. Next up, we have Utah Royals at home, who have 1 point between 2 games. Those games include a 1-1 draw against Bay FC and a 3-2 loss against San Diego over last weekend. Can they survive the KC Current arsenal of weapons? If the Chawinga Debinha attack doesn't get you, the smell from the river outside the stadium will. Thank you, Chip. That was, I'm excited. We should be able to take advantage of Utah this weekend. I have no doubt.
Yeah, great stats, by the way, Chip. Fantastic. But taking a look at Utah, they are an improved team from last year, but they're still trying to figure themselves out. They have some new players. They got some new pieces coming in. A little bit like Portland, right? Like they're trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to figure out their chemistry and what works for them. And one of the big benefits for the Current is we are an established team who got better, who are, we got the chemistry. We're firing on all cylinders. Our defense is much improved from the beginning of last year in terms of the start of the season. And it almost feels, I don't want to say unfair, but it's another team trying to figure themselves out who was not great last year, coming in playing us at home, a very established, very talented, high caliber team. And that gives me a lot of confidence coming into this matchup.
I agree, man. I mean, they this past game against San Diego Wave, they lost 3-2, as was mentioned. But those 2 goals were second half goals to make the game 2-2. So they had a chance in this game, and that game winner for San Diego came in about the 74th minute. So it's interesting. They're clearly a team trying to get it done. Scoring goals apparently like bats, but I think we should have no problem.
I mean, last year when we played them, both home and away, we won 1-0. So they've historically been low scoring affairs. They just have a kind of a staunch defense, or at least traditionally. This year, obviously, they've given up some more goals, but they got our old buddy and pal, Kate Del Fava, at center back down there, who
that's right,
is having a good year, and she's always a threat on a set piece as well. Don't count her out. She has that height. She's always a threat there on any kind of set piece. But Ali Sentnor, she's fantastic. We all know who she is.
U.S. national team.
Yep. I mean, she's really come on strong with both the national team and in the league. And then Japanese forward, by the way, the Japanese national team beat the U.S. and they're, firing on all cylinders as well. Mina Tanaka had a fantastic goal last game from an assist by Sentnor. So they do have some attacking pieces, but they are just kind of new and figuring themselves out as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I don't know. We should get it done, man. It just feels like another home game, another opportunity for a home win. And we're just, standings. Looking at standings right now, we are up there with Orlando. Orlando's just ahead of us on goal differential, but we have the same amount of points as they do. But they're those 2 teams right back to where they left off last year, man. Fighting for first spot right out the gate. I do want to mention something. Did you hear about this Barbara Banda stuff? People saying some not so great stuff?
I have not. I just caught wind of it this morning, but I haven't had a chance to kind of take a look at what's going on.
Well, they're investigating it. I can only assume it's something horrible, whether it's racist or misogynistic or whatever. And either way, it has no place in this game. If you listen
or society anywhere,
or society. If you listen to this and that's you, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want to have you around. It's just upsetting, dude. There's no reason to do that. But again, I don't have any details on it. I don't know what was said, but it sounds like it was bad.
Yeah, I have no idea either. But you really kind of feel it's tough because every time you hear about this, you feel like you've moved past it, or society or this game. But
that's not true. We just forget about it. We just put it behind us. And
we don't experience it. So that way, it's not top of mind. But yeah, this should never. It's frustrating. It should never be in this society or in this league or in this sport. So hopefully, whatever was said, they come down with a hammer on this individual. And make an example. And
totally
unfortunate for Banda. It really is. Hopefully, she's doing okay.
Well, not going to end the pod on a sad note. I do want to look forward at the weekend to come. If there's any matchups that interest you, if you could just pick one that's not ours, what are you looking at? What's a storyline you're looking at?
Oh, good question.
You want me to hit you with mine real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm looking at that Washington Bay FC game. Washington needs to right the ship here. They don't want to give up too many points at home, and they are at home. And Bay FC is, not doing too shabby. I mean, they are keeping in the conversation. They have a win and a draw through 2 games, so they're showing like, hey, we're a viable expansion team. So that's a fun game to look at in my mind.
Yeah, I like that matchup. I mean, this is where you kind of hope maybe, there's a draw, right? And no team walks away with 3 points, or maybe Bay gets a victory and prevents Washington from, kind of being a top 3. I do like that matchup a lot. Also, the Pride and the Wave, because, the Pride obviously is number 1. The Wave is number 4 in the rankings or in the standings. So, maybe you get a draw there, right? And we can leapfrog.
Yes.
So yeah.
Chicago's back home this weekend, and they have 0 points through 2 games. So they'll be maybe not feeling desperate, but looking a little hungry to get on the board against Louisville.
Yeah, a battle of the bottom 2 teams, 13 and 14 there. So
that's right.
And there's no draft, so there's no benefit to tanking or not playing well either. So,
oh yeah,
nobody wants to finish last when they don't benefit, right? Just taking a quick look at the Kansas City current stats. Temwa leads the team with 2 goals. Dabinia and Cooper have 1. Lowe and Dabinia each have an assist. But when you add in goals and assists, we got a couple players that have 2 there with Dabinia, Lowe, and Chawinga. Man, Dabinia and Chawinga just dominate this team in terms of some of the numbers there.
We just need it rolls off the tongue too. Chawinga Dabinia. Like you ever eaten a Buca di Beppo in Kansas City? It sounds kind of like that. Chawinga Dabinia. Put that on a shirt, I'll buy it.
Oh man, they should. But when you kind of broaden that across the league, there's a bunch of players that have 2 goals. Banda and Chawinga are there. Let's see here. Banda has, between goals and assists, she has 3, so she leads the league there. But I mean, it's early. There's week 2 of 26, so quite a bit of time. Oh, one thing that stood out according to SofaStat here, Lorena has the 4th best statistical score. So just kind of goes to show you, man, that with our eyes we're seeing a great performance week in and week out, or 2 weeks here. But also it's also showing up in the analytics and kind of the stats there.
Yeah. So. Love that. Awesome. Cool, man. That's all I got. What do you got? Anything else?
I got 2 things here real quick. So our very own Haley Hopkins has been named president of the NWSL Players Association. So
I forgot.
She's taken over for Tori Huster, who's moving into a deputy executive director role. So good for both of them. That's, and Hopkins is a young.
She got on the field too, didn't she?
She did. Yeah. Kind of at the very end of the 90th. What a young player to step into such an important and impactful role.
Yeah. Maybe no one else wants that kind of role, and they're like, yeah, give it to the young person.
It sounds very stressful. Trying to move the game forward, right? That's
for sure.
And then the last thing is, do you have a prediction for this weekend?
No. I mean, I bet we're going to score 2 or 3 goals. We're going to score 2 or 3 goals and just hope Lorena gets her shutout, man. That's all I can say.
I hear you there. I don't know. I'm going to go with 2-0 or 3-1. I think we're going to win by 2, but I'm excited to get back out there, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Well, all right, folks. Thank you for being here. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna see everybody out there on Saturday for another beautiful day at CPKC Stadium. So, as always, hit us up on the socials at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Hit us with the 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple and Spotify. You can email us, nootherpod@gmail.com. And if we don't hear from you in any of those shapes or forms, we'll assume you don't love us, and that hurts. So we will count on seeing you next weekend because we love you. So bye-bye.